And so I think that he felt comfortable with passing the torch to me, and I was honored to take it.
And then from there, so you started in 2013,
Mm-hmm.
and you obviously have continued going on. We were doing the math a little bit earlier. It's a little bit over 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what has kept you pushing, or how has it been seeing the transition from where you began to where you're at now?
Oh my gosh, a huge transition. In fact, I was talking to somebody about this the other day. When I took over, it was the Reunion Friendly Network, and I frankly felt like that was a Girl Scout troop name. Honestly, I mean, I had a hard time taking me seriously, and so I felt like the Military Reunion Network better echoed kind of who we are and who we served, and so I changed the name. Um, there were small workshops, and in 2016 I started our educational conference, which I bring in subject matter experts, and so veterans can have a deep dive conversation with people that sell event insurance and hospitality industry attorneys, so they can learn about hotel contracts and things like that. So it has been really the two things that drive what I do is seeing the confidence being built in the veterans that are planning. You know, when I teach my class, at the end of the day, they're like, yes, I got this. I know exactly what I need to do now. And I love that. But the other side of it is, what else can we be doing? How else can we support our veteran community? And so, you know, the class that I teach, I'm working on transitioning that into a module based class, so you can go on the internet, find how to plan a reunion, and go through all the modules and courses on your own.
Oh, nice.
But the second part of that is that then you can call me and say, okay, I didn't understand what you said in this particular part. Can you explain it? Sure. So it's kind of building that. So I'm fascinated by the business side and adding on programs and changing things as our audience changes.
Mhm.
But I'm also, first and foremost, the drive is um, to know that the veterans are supported, and it is so cool. It is absolutely so cool.
So, if some of our listeners are listening right now and they're like, wow, I really need to find out more about this, what is it that you're looking for right now that could really benefit them?
I am looking for veterans, and it doesn't matter if you transitioned last week or 15 years ago. I'm looking for veterans that are curious about how to do this, that are curious as to where their battle family is now, and they have the desire to get back in touch with them. And so those are the types of people that I love talking to, because we start at the very, very beginning, and I introduce them to the hospitality industry language, and then we move forward from there. But that is, you know, veterans that are curious and, you know, have the effort and energy to you know, kind of investigate a little further are the folks that I would love to talk to.
And so, to our listeners that don't really understand what that means, right? What that entails, um, can you give some examples, or how this could even just, without them having to go into the industry themselves,
Yeah.
how this could help them on the day-to-day lives, on their uh, programs that they're doing, on their, even if they're still in the military, right?
Yeah.
How that could translate into giving them certain skills to be able to plan events.
Well, I think that the focus yogi is really more on the veteran that has transitioned,
Hmm.
versus the active duty military, because they are otherwise focused, and their detail
Right.
is in a specific direction. And with the military reunions for the veteran that has just gotten out, one of the things that we can do to help them is to help them, and this might sound silly, but help them navigate Facebook. Help them to navigate, I have a couple of veterans that are just starting the process that don't have a Facebook page, that don't have a website, and so, but they want to have a reunion. So let's start with that Facebook page. Let's build up that buzz, that online community, and then start talking about that. Then we can start talking about the in-person reunion as you build up that online community. But how do you do that? And so we kind of walk through that process with them too.
Okay.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really awesome. Is there anything that our listeners our listeners and us that we could do to help your organization reach more veterans?
Yes, there's a couple of things. A couple of them are super easy. Another one takes a little bit more of an investment, but one of them is, share this conversation within their veteran community circles, and to start talking about that reunion kind of concept and idea. So sharing that the military reunion network exists is pretty huge. I mean, you were saying at the beginning that you need help, you want subscribers, and so we want to build out our community. So that is the first thing. I think we have a podcast, we have a newsletter that subscribe to those, and so those are really, really simple. Follow us on Facebook, and comment on the posts that are there, and that those little things can help a lot. The one that is the more investment that we were talking about before we started the interview is attend one of our conferences. We have our big reunion planning conference is coming up in June in Washington, D.C. And if you're curious about it, then we would love to help you satisfy that curiosity. And the Military Reunion Network, if you're able to participate, we cover your hotel. We cover all of your group meals. If you want to buy a beer at the bar, that's on you, but we'll cover all the group stuff. We're going to go play in Washington, D.C. for our Army veterans. Our opening reception is going to be at the National Museum of the United States Army, which, if you haven't been there, it is amazing. And then we'll have a lot of education that goes along with it. And so it is a really fun time. It is a quick weekend trip. It'll go by very, very quickly. But you will be a part of a community, and you'll meet other people that have been planning reunions for a long time. And so you'll build out your network. It's not just me. You can call, someone else that has served in a different branch that has been doing stuff. And so there's a lot more to it than just going and learning about the reunion. It's meeting the people that are involved.
Well, Sharon, without, we want to thank you for everything that you've been doing. We want to thank you for your support and being an ambassador for our service members and our veterans, and for giving us this place to be able to be better and connect with essentially our family members that we've dealt with. So thank you.
Well, I would say thanks right back to you, and it's an honor to serve, and it's an honor to be of support to our veteran community. I'm grateful to be able to do it.
Yes, thank you so much, Sharon. And before I turn it over to the last line, do you have any final rounds?
No, you were asking me. I don't. I don't. I mean, actually, no, I do. You were there's always one more thing to say.
A total 360. I like
Yeah,
it.
I know.
That's why I asked that final rounds at the very end.
Our missions are identical. Your mission is to reduce veteran suicide through connection and community. Yes. And it's the same with the Military Reunion Network. I mean, I know that I'm preaching to the choir when I'm citing the Veterans Administration statistics, and I have a hard time with their report because their qualifiers change from year to year. But I think that this last report, it was 17. American Warrior Project did Operation Deep Dive, where they studied for it was either 8 states for 5 years or 5 states for 8 years. And forgive me, I don't have that in the top of my head, but and they're suggesting based on that report that it's closer to 40.
Yes.
And so I feel, and I have not had one person contradictory, but I just feel that the battle family connection and staying connected to your family that you served with not only helps you, it helps your spouse and your kids. When you go to the reunion, a lot of spouses will come up and say, Sharon, I had no idea my husband did some of the stuff that he did until I went to the reunion and he started talking about it. So we're doing the same thing, and so that's kind of the purpose for MRN.
I love it. I love it so much, Sharon. Thank you again. To all of our listeners that are out there, all right, take a look at the Military Reunion Network, all right? And I know for a lot of transitioning service members that are out there, you're like, well, why is this relevant? Well, it's because we want you to know that there are organizations out there ready to receive you. That warm handoff is actually out there. So if you're wondering like, well, I'd like to attend one of these reunions, you can probably look up the MRN. No, you can look up the MRN and you can find those reunions that are happening out there. Remember, it's not all rainbows and unicorns. It's your transition. Take charge of it. Mil2Vet out.